focus on the Dragon Knight when he came up, and um, we were getting pretty wrecked by him.
Mm-hmm.
We played. We were not doing. We didn't do as well on that one. That one didn't go very well, but it was definitely. I think you could feel the difference. That definitely seemed to last longer.
Okay. Any other concerns about the battlegrounds? I mean, there weren't too many changes. I'm expecting a couple more tunes and tweaks as we go on in the Technic Alpha, but nothing too big.
Yeah, I think they had a lot of changes in this one. I don't think they wanted to go too much into changing the battlegrounds. It's a lot of stuff to do at one time, and
yeah, with the heroes, I mean, I feel like a lot of heroes got some small changes. There were a couple that had big changes, the ones that needed it, but a few small changes. And I think the mercenary changes also kind of affect the map. So if they affected the battleground too much, they wouldn't really know if the mercenary changes really worked.
Yep.
Yep. And it's what mercenary camps are now scaling up to 30 minutes of elapsed game time. Capture mercenary camps now scale up to 60 minutes of elapsed game time. Just the longer the matches, the more they scale up. What are they scaling? What, up to 20, 25 minutes before?
I think so. I think 20, something like that.
Yeah.
I think they're, like I said, I think because we were talking about how we think that they're kind of going a little longer. Not that they want them to go longer, but they are. I think they're just allowing the longer matches to, I think when you get to that point of that they don't scale anymore, that can cause it to elongate the match even more. So if they keep them scaling, then they become more important at the end, and therefore you're going to want to go for them, and they can also end the game faster. So,
No, Xim or Josh, you guys ever play like specialists who like actually take care of the mercenary camps on their own, or you guys tend to play the other classes?
Other classes.
Yeah, like mercenaries. Classes, yeah. Those are things that just show up and attack things for me.
Gazlo goes and gets those, doesn't he? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, he does.
I'll help go get him if someone pings to go get him, but I'm not the one to initiate it.
Yeah, Gazlo is the best at taking merc camps. Period. Anyways, so the Grave Golem had a few changes. Nothing in... I don't know if it was a strengthen or not, because I don't know what he was equal to in terms of... skulls and haunted mines before, but he's equal to 30 skulls. So I don't know quite what he was before this. So I don't know if that's a nerf or a buff. They haven't really made that clear.
They should have put that in those little quotes, like what he was before, to give us a general idea.
So that, I don't know if it's good or bad. I do, however, like how he goes right after structures, ignoring heroes, minions, and mercenaries. It felt like that's what he was supposed to do. Why would he bother himself with stuff if he could just go after the structures?
Yep.
So I've noticed that...
Wish the siege giants would do that too.
Yeah, they are siege giants.
Exactly. Throw rocks at the freaking towers, not at people.
Yeah, and then you can no longer dodge the siege giants. That's kind of crazy because that really takes out some...
Killed me.
Yeah. What'd you say?
They killed me last night.
Oh, they killed you.
You were in the game, weren't you, when I went after them and they killed me?
Yeah.
It was horrible. I was so mad.
That alone really stops like assassins really from being able to take out those siege giants. I think that's a kind of a big change. As Nova, you can no longer dodge and get out of the way and shoot them. So obviously they wanted to put an end to that. However, they do less damage to compensate for the change, but it's taking 20 damage away opposed to taking no damage is not really equal compensation.
Adam, you said doo-doo.
I said doo-doo.
You said doo-doo.
You did.
It's doo-doo.
On air.
You did.
Speaking of that, the knights... No, I'm just kidding. The knights, the sorcerers no longer grant the shield. I don't know what I think about that. I thought that was a neat little mechanic where you had to make sure to take out the sorcerer first. The damage order was removed, and it heals knights and surrounding minions. So I like that it heals, but now it should be like a priest instead of a sorcerer at this point.
We talked about that too. We said the same thing. We're like, this is not a sorcerer anymore. He's like healing.
Yep.
It's a paladin.
It's a paladin. you have 3 knights and a paladin now, opposed to having a sorcerer.
It's weird.
I don't know if I don't like it. I liked how you got kind of that damage aura around you as you were pushing. It was an added bonus to taking out those knights. It's like the Grave Golem now goes after structures. The siege giants, have a nice long range, and then the knights had kind of, they would have that, everyone around and you push with them and it deals more damage. It's almost like now they're just like a generic mercenary.
I think they were a little overpowered, and I think this is their way of trying to adjust them a little bit, one way or another.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We will. Yeah, it's with more time, and we're going to see how they push, and it'll be interesting. I don't know. Like I said, I deal with Gazlo a lot, so it kind of annoys me when they make some of these changes with stuff that I really liked. Like pushing with the Knights as Gazlo was helpful. For now, I have to figure out, do I push with them or do I go and grab other stuff instead?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. What else do we want to talk about? Some talent changes. I think the only really major talent change is the demolition one. For me, it only takes one ammo away rather than two, but with the faster attacks, they're saying it kind of balances out.
Yep.
Even though Xim and Josh, you guys you don't really play specialists. Do you ever take that with like Raynor or any of the other range characters who can demolish the ammo?
No.
I haven't, but I'm hearing it's good to take with Zagara, which we'll go over later. But I hear because of her fast multiple attacks with roaches and banelings, it's good to take that for her.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely took it when I played her for a little bit.
Yeah, I used to take it with Raynor because I would take all the different skills that increase the damage to the, siege damage basically, and I liked it. It's nice because you can go in with the with your peons and take down towers without having to worry that, oh no, they killed all the peons and I have to run away, because you take out all the ammo first and you can just take it down.
Right, it's a good pushing mechanic, and it really works well with someone like Raynor when you have a ranged attack. Gazlo has it, and you have to get in there, so they get a couple attacks first. So I actually very rarely take it at this point, in lieu of like was it the extra or the explodium charge that does more damage. Usually tends to be the one I take at this point when taking mercenary camps.
Does the exploding charge do damage to the towers and stuff too? It does, right? So if you stick it down at the base, it does damage. So it's almost like the pufferfish, but not as much damage.
Right, and it doesn't stun.
Yeah, that's
it. Only stuns.
It doesn't stun the towers anyway.
Right, but what works really well is if you take the one where it increases damage based on the number of people that it hits. Tower counts as it, so if you can get a bunch of minions in the towers together, it works really well for kind of destroying the tower. It looks like, actually, now that I think about it, they're really pushing Regeneration Master a bit, as they've kind of bumped it up for increase from 3 to 4 per stack. So it's like they're trying to get people to use some of the other talents that are out there, make them more equal with that, and searing attacks being kind of buffed a little bit.
Yep.
Now we're going to get into the fun stuff, the heroes. We're going to talk about different changes in the heroes, guys. Josh, we'll start with you. Of the hero changes that you saw, which one has kind of affected you the most, and which one, would you say is was needed for like a hero that you play?
Well, honestly, I looked at them when they went up yesterday, or was it yesterday or Wednesday? I read through it. But I've only played Zagara since, and I played Falstad one time today because I was one play away from getting his first skin. But with him, I didn't really notice any difference, even though his flyway talent cooldown reductions reduced from 20 to 15 seconds. I didn't really notice a difference with that. But other than that, I've only played Zagara, so I haven't really paid attention to the other heroes, unfortunately.
Yeah. Falstad, like you said, a lot of them were like cooldown changes. So they brought the cooldowns down. So obviously they want him to play a little faster than he was playing, and especially with the flight, so he can, the flight cooldown reduction reduced from 20 to 15 seconds is helpful when you want to be moving around the map a bunch with him.
Well, that actually slows it down. That slows it down because that talent took it 20 seconds off, but now it's only going to take 15 seconds off the timer.
Cooldown.
So it takes 5 seconds.
Wrong.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. The talent doesn't make it less. Yeah.
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 Nope. I definitely read that wrong.
But his,
I think
his,
the thunderstorm change was because of the attack speed change. A lot of these changes in all these heroes is it when you see a nerf is mainly because of that attack speed change to adjust based on the attack speed starting out higher, and then this having it scale differently.
Yeah, the different scaling. Zim, anyone that you got a chance to play before that kind of got any changes in this?
Not that I noticed. What I did notice is a lot of Psystorm. But other than that, a lot of Psystorm. A lot more than I normally. I don't know if that's part of the... I went into it thinking I was going to play nothing but Zagara. And every time I chose Zagara, locked in Zagara, I ended up with a random character I did not pick in the battleground.
Yeah, it's like, I think if...
It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
So irritating.
I think eventually it just puts you in there, and if two people have the same hero, the one person gets random.
I got random every time.
I thought
That's
it was
interesting.
I thought it was a glitch because my friend's friend was having that issue, but he was picking Kerrigan, and he kept getting different characters.
Yeah.
So I think it's a glitch. I don't think it's.
Yeah, that's weird. It hasn't happened to me. I didn't notice.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Psystorm, so you're talking about Tassadar's new ability, correct?
It's all over the place.
Yes. I mean, it's just a long-range ability that deals damage to enemies in targeted area. I think that... I think it's awesome. Like, I really like it. I've seen it. Like you said, it's everywhere. And I think it's a little more powerful than Time Warp was in terms of damage and everything. But it makes him more of like a kind of a mage character at this point.
He needed it, I think. He definitely needed it.
Agree.
I feel as though he needed to change it, that instead of calling it Twilight Messiah, that it was finally just called Archon. I think anyone who's ever played Protoss was like, why is he called Twilight Messiah? He's going into Archon form.
Except it usually takes two to make one.
Yeah,
well.
Tassadar's cool enough.
He's got one in his
that
pocket.
Only takes himself.
Yeah, he's a little mini-me.
He has little mini Tassadars put all over the
Mini
place.
Tassadars in his pockets. Yeah, come on, Archon.
Yeah, and that was one major change for Tassadar, was just kind of that new ability, talents to go along with it. The plasma shield talents have been improved as well. I haven't had a chance to really play with him too much.
He was tough. Played against him.
Yeah,
he gets a little tough to survive. Getting away from him, it's tough.
See, I felt like he was pretty strong as it was before, and now with these changes, they just look better. Like they want him to be unstoppable and overpowered.
He seemed a little more survivable then, as opposed to necessarily doing a ton of damage, and now he's got the damage also. I think is really, like, you could kind of sit in there with him for a while, but now if you don't get in and get out, you're gonna get wrecked.
How about you, Fimless? Any specific heroes that you played that had some changes to them?
Kerrigan is not as tanky as she used to be, which sucks, because I really love that about her, where you could just kind of, especially mid to late game, you could just jump in there and wail on stuff for a while, and you pretty much could survive because of the shield. Well, they halved the percentage reduction with the assimilation, and there's just a lot of stuff that they took away that I think has made a big difference in her survivability. So, but I like how she attacks faster. That's much better.
Yeah, it feels...
The beginning especially. She's not like I said, she's not like, yeah.
Like, my wet noodle attacks you.
Yeah. My wings don't move so fast in the morning. I need my coffee. But, maybe, her head fell off or something, maybe. I don't know. But I think I still think she's fun, but I definitely felt like they kind of nerfed her a little bit, and it feels a little less like she can just kind of stand in there and not get killed. So,
with Illidan, everybody saw that the attack speed change, and usually they got like less damage because of it. Illidan is the one who got more damage, and man, it was necessary. He was hitting weak throughout most of the game. I felt one of my friends, Triumphy, I guess his name. He used to play Illidan a ton, and when they made the changes, he stopped playing him. And he was a good Illidan, and he just was like, he's not doing the damage that a Kerrigan or a Raynor are doing at right this point, so they need to buff him. And obviously Blizzard agreed, as he, it's just so increase of 1 per level, but that adds up pretty quickly, especially when everybody else is kind of getting less attack, less damage per attack, but more attacks. It's I think a bigger increase than that 1 per level actually shows. For me, the biggest issue with the entire patch in the hero, and Josh pointed this out on Twitter, was they completely ruined Tyrael's his kind of Archangel explosion thing. I'm not even going to call the name right. I felt that, the Archangel's Wrath. So I felt that, the ability to come back faster kind of fit perfectly with kind of the Angel theory, I guess I would call it. Where, he moves fast, he comes back from the dead quickly, you don't really kill him, he just kind of respawns. And I just found that very frustrating playing him last night, where, I would explode on 4 people and I'd still have a 60-second timer. Before, you could really play him where you're expecting to die, but if you knew you could, explode on 3 or 4, you could plan the death in there, and I can't do that now. So it's like you have to play him completely different when it comes to team fights. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I can die, it'll be okay because I'll take a bunch of them with me. And now you do move faster while you're in Archangel's Wrath, so you can actually keep up with people, and you kind of tend to deal a little more damage. But I kind of miss the kind of the tactic of dying on purpose. Yep. So I guess I'm the big Tyrael player around in this parts after making fun of him for like 3 episodes. Yeah. And now I play him now. And the change that I think everyone was actually calling for, the murky changes, were kind of big. When you say Finless.
Yeah, they made a pretty big difference. I mean, I think you see that the newer heroes tend to get more to the changes each time, just because they don't really know how they're going to play out. And so once they get in there, they can start making a lot of the differences. So, I mean, the slime duration lower, the damage over time lower for that one. I don't really like the delay on the pufferfish explosion so much, because I think it's harder to kill it. But it's just it does kind of balance out with some other stuff. I just think that they definitely increased some places, decreased other places, and I think they evened out better with everybody else.
Mm-hmm. I think the increase of the March of the Murlocs, the area that it does, I think is one of the key changes to it, because now you can't really center them all on the palace at the end. It takes more cooldowns for that. Gives the enemy a little bit more time to kind of catch up. In terms of
they also move slower.
Oh yeah, they do. I didn't even think of that.
Like a quarter speed slower, 25% slower. So
it's easier to pick them up and defend.
And the amount they slow you has been reduced a maximum to 70%. So you don't feel like you're not moving at all if you get hit by too many of them. So it's not as bad.
Yeah. So
that thing just was bad. You got caught in it. You were like, oh, forget it.
And the cooldown was increased. So you're really doing a lot less damage to the palace with this at this point, which I think was everyone's main concern. Xim, Mr. Josh, either of you guys play against Murky and hate it?
Yes. Played against him recently, and he wasn't as bad as he was before. You didn't fear him,
I think a lot of people also stopped ignoring him, because I think a lot of people were ignoring him and letting him just kind of wreck their towns and not paying attention, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh no, half of our stuff's gone.
What happened?
So I think that's helped too. It doesn't feel as bad because people are actually realizing how to play against him. Yeah. So it helps a bit.
Mm-hmm. And you're gonna get bonus XP for kind of hunting out his egg, because you get killing Murky now worth 25% more normal experience than killing a normal hero, and killing his egg rewards 50% of the normal experience earned by killing a hero. So you kill him and his egg, and you're getting 175% of the hero XP that you used to get. Before you just killed his egg, you didn't get. I don't think you got any XP, and you killed him and got normal XP. And he's visible once you kill Zag, so everybody knows where he is and how they're gonna get to him and kill him.
Yes, for good, for real. I mean, not for good, but
if only if it was for good, we
yeah.
would all be
Darn it.
excited. You know, I feel like
Unless you were playing him.
yeah, and I stopped playing him because I was annoying myself with how bad I was playing, how broken he was at the time.
Yeah. Nope.
Now, in overall, just kind of a sweeping generalization of some of the healing support that we had out there. I noticed that I feel like healing got a little bit of a nerf overall between like Brightwing, Lily, maybe even a little Malfurion too. I think that was necessary. I felt healing was out of control, and I still feel healing is still a little out of control. What do you guys think about that in general?
I don't think it is. Not now, anyway. I noticed it on Brightwing.
You know,
That's the one I normally play. Yeah, I was like, what? Why?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like he was pulsing as, or it was pulsing as much for the healing.
You know, I still think it is. I still think they haven't fixed the biggest healing problem. That's Jim Raynor.
Yes.
I feel like
oh my God.
You have Jim Raynor. You have any other healer near him. He's almost dead. He heals back up within, what would you say, 10, 15 seconds with a healer with him? If that?
Less. It's not even like 5 seconds. All of a sudden, he's back to full health, and you're like, "What happened?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as soon as he gets, what is it, adrenaline or no, not that. Is that it? Adrenaline? I think it's adrenaline. Yeah, when he hits that threshold, all of a sudden adrenaline kicks in, and especially with some talents, all of a sudden it's like, and then the healer hits him once, and he's back to full health, and you're like,
he has. It was far too much survivability as an assassin.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially as an easy play character, because you know when you get the easy play characters, that means that the person who really knows what they're doing that's playing that is like way OP, because now they've got this easy play character that they figured out all the tricks with, and now they're crazy.
Right, and it's just I think it needs to be changed. Like we need to like start something, like start petitioning Blizzard, be like nerf Raynor.
I do like playing him though. There. It's fun to play. So
see, I've never been a.
They did lower the Inspire bonuses at least. So we went from 20 to 15% on his Inspire bonuses. So at least he doesn't have all that and the extra utility that Inspire brings you.
Yeah, I mean I just think there's something needs to be fixed with him. He's far too tanky for an assassin. I mean, if you compare him to Kerrigan, Nova, Zeratul, Illidan, like he can outlast all of them at this point. He's like an assassin killer, really. Head to head, he wins most assassin fights at this point.
Yep. Well, maybe it just need to nerf his damage, and then that'll offset his survivability.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you nerf his damage, make him a warrior.
Make him a warrior.
You know, make him a marine warrior rather than a marine assassin, because it's like almost like he's stuck in between.
He's got that big mood. He's got all that armor on.
Yeah. He's wearing armor. He must be a warrior. That's how it works.
Exactly.
I played video games before.
You can't cast spells in armor. That's the way it works.
No, you can. There's just like a 40 to 60% chance that it fails.
It might blow you up instead. That's all.
I'm just trying to think of any other major changes. I know Vala and Sonya both got some.
Sonya got a huge amount of stuff, a lot of extra damage, and she's a force to be reckoned with now, quite a bit. Were you in the game where you had Sonya like just beating on us the whole time, and it was really annoying?
No, I was actually in the game where we were killing Sonya over and over like a week ago.
There was one that Sonya was like just jumping on us, and it was such a pain. And obviously it's based on the skill of the player, but she got a lot of buffs, so she's worth playing now, I think, more. Before, she really wasn't doing any damage. Like, you just stand in her whirlwind and nothing would happen. Like, yay.
And she has some like the more self-healing with the new talent, the War Paint, where basic attacks will heal her for 25% of the damage dealt. I think that's something a warrior should get. It's like she needs to stand in there to deal more damage, and she needed to take more damage. Before it was like, oh, she's whirlwinding in, that's fine. I'll go in the whirlwind and just kill her. Now you're like, maybe I should stay away from those spinning weapons. That might be bad.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to run out now.
Mm-hmm. And it costs less fury now, so she can do it more often as well. That's kind of another big thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I think we'll kind of finish up with kind of a little bit of talk on Vala as well. It looks like there's a lot of changes in there. A lot of them are kind of talent changes. I feel as though it was a slight nerf when you kind of look through it all. What would you say, Fimless?
A bit. I think that they increased the range with the talent for the multi-shot, the composite arrows one does. The hungry arrow now has a lower search radius, so it can't find, it doesn't go off way. That's actually, I think, helpful as opposed to harmful. I mean, it sounds like it's bad, but I think it actually works out better because that arrow doesn't go flying out all over the place really far away. But I think in general, there was a bunch of stuff with the Rancor change for talents and stuff. And it's a lot, like you said, it's a lot of talent stuff that have to do with her trait. And I think it's just kind of an evening out of that trait and making it more useful, but also lowering the amount of damage it does. And if you can really get that stack going.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. That's why I was saying it's hard to look it over, and because they're all talent choices, it's hard to tell if it's
hard to quantify it.
Yeah, it's well, if you take this one and that one, then it's a nerf. But now you can take this instead, which kind of buffs it a little bit.
That's something that Blizzard has got to be starting to hopefully get better at, and they've got to get better at it over time and continue to, is to look at all of these because of the way these talents work, they've got to take every path through these talents and say, okay, what if I take this with this and this and this? What does that do? What are the numbers at that point? Okay, now go this, and this, and to all those combinations, and really look at all of them, because what's going to happen is on the internet, there's going to be, okay, this is what you want to take because this does the most damage, and you want to go this, and this, and here's the strategy for that. And they want to get away from that being the ability. You want those builds, but you don't want them to be this is the one, and everybody does it. Mm-hmm. And that's why they kind of keep looking at all those and keep changing this talent and that talent, because that's going to happen.
Yeah,
otherwise.
You're going to get the cookie cutter builds, and you'll be if you want, you can, build this way to take out mercenaries, build this way to.
Well, now if you can see the talents you take, people will be like, "Why did you take this talent? Why did you do?"
Yeah. Oh man, I don't. That hasn't happened yet, and I don't know if I'm happy with that. Because people will be like, "You're building them wrong, guys. You're totally building them wrong."
Such a noob.
Murky with that talent? What? You're crazy.
Any final thoughts on any of the hero changes? No.
I think they're good. I think they're good. I like that there were a lot, because I think that I'm liking this kind of let's give us more change, because it makes it feel like they're actually doing something there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point, it's once a month we get this big patch with all these changes and a hero.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's fun because it makes it fun to be in an alpha. It makes you feel like you're in the alpha, not just playing the game and they just happen to be changing stuff every so often.
Exactly. Like you said, Murky gets the big changes now after a month. And, that's what we're going to see. You're going to see...
Zagara will be nerfed up to wazoo.
Next month.
I hope so.
And that's what you'll see is you'll have the PTR realm with the new hero, and they'll get the nerf within the month of them getting put onto the live realm, because they're not going to be able to put out a Murky-esque ridiculousness when the game's actually live, because people will be freaking out. Because that's what people like to do. That's the internet. So we're going to go ahead and move right on to our hero spotlight this week. We'll get that going.
This is the Hero Spotlight.
And this week we are looking at the new hero, the broodmother of the swarm, Zagara. So for those of you who have played StarCraft 2, that's where really she kind of comes in, in terms of lore. I kind of hate doing these lore things. That's why I brought David around. He's not here to do it. So, basically she's a Zerg queen who stayed on Char after the whole thing went down at the ends of Wings of Liberty. She kind of unites all the feral Zerg that are hanging around, and Kerrigan comes down and says, well, thank you for doing that. I'm going to take all the Zerg back. All your work was for naught. And, Kerrigan proceeds to, kind of force her into servitude back into the Zerg as a whole. From there, other than that, you're really looking at, she's just kind of a fun character to have around during StarCraft 2. She has a little more of that kind of individual feeling than most Zergs have.
Personality.
Yeah, she has a personality. Her and
Most
Abathur
Zerg don't have.
yeah, exactly. It's like we now have all the Zerg with personality in the game at this point.
Pretty much.
Yeah, except for maybe the primal Zerg, like Dahaka and them, who I'm sure they're going to put in at some point because they need something. I want to get there to be a point where we can actually have a team of 5 Zerg.
Yes, that'd be nice.
I really think a Zergling hero is necessary, where you play like 2 or 4 Zerglings that just run around and create havoc.
I think Zagara brings a lot more Zerg to the game, period. I think that you get more feel of the Zerg from her and her play style than even Abathur. Overall, I think you really see the Zerg. You see the different races of the Zerg and the different types of Zerg, and you really feel like you're actually playing like more like StarCraft and playing the Zerg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it comes through in her abilities, which we'll take a quick run over now. So the first thing is, if anyone that's ever played Zerg, building creep tumors is the way to. You have to make sure you're constantly doing it. And that's her D ability. Actually, her what normally is a passive trait for most people, she can plop down some creep tumors. She can pretty much put down. They come in charges of 3. They increase her movement speed, her minions' movement speed, and she heals while she's on them.
Very Zerg.
Very Zerg. Yes.
Very Zerg.
One thing that I did notice about this ability that it kind of playing Zerg in StarCraft 2, you do kind of like an overlay, so that way if one creep tumor was to break, you kind of still have like coverage. Yeah, so it's like you have almost like for every spot where there might be 2 that in an area, you put a third one to cover the half of each area. That's what I've always done. So if someone comes in, they have a lot of creep tumors to kill, and 2, if they're just picking off one at a time, you're not losing too much. In this, you do not want to do that. You straight up want to put the creep tumors at their maximum range from each other while still covering up the whole area. I think that was one of the things that I was doing wrong when I was playing her at first, because I kind of had that, where am I going to put my base and how I'm going to build everything around it in mind. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the creep tumors definitely are interesting in this, in that also they can't be killed. Mm-hmm. So the other team can't actually even see them except when you drop them. Mm-hmm. And they disappear, and then it's just creep. So from what I can tell, I mean, unless I was mistaken, but I saw a Zagara drop it, and I went to go try to attack it, and it was gone. So
it makes me wonder.
Pretty sure you can't.
Just because I haven't tried it yet, I wonder if something like Tyrande's Sentry, if you throw that over them, if they're visible, you can attack them then. Kind of like
and maybe. I know if you drop one in range of a turret, it kills it.
Yeah. So I wonder.
Because I tried to do that.
I wonder if, just like in StarCraft, you actually have to get something that detects it in order to.
Oh, maybe it's invisible.
Yeah, it's like invisible.
Yeah, it could be.
But I don't think it takes AoE damage.
You're talking about the creep tumors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take AoE damage. That's the only way to kill them. You can't target them.
Oh, really? I didn't
know you couldn't target them.
Yeah, if there's an AoE
damage, you can't
damage,
even see them.
Yeah, you can't see them, but if there's AoE damage in that area, it'll destroy them. And then they only last for like 240 seconds.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Unless you get there's a talent that adds more, right?
I think it just increases the spread faster in regen.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Next. Yep.
Baneling Barrage. I love Banelings. You launch 4 Banelings that deal splash damage. Mm-hmm. I got hit with this so many times.
Oh yeah.
This is a pain.
I love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's the one that allows. There's a talent that allows all your minions to move faster on creep. Man, they come out quick. If you're on the creep, it's like you can't. No one can dodge them really. Like you said, this brings that feel of the Zerg. You're just sending banelings. Like, who cares if they die? That's what they're here for.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you get the nice green plague look going out.
Yeah, the
poison and the plague on them.
Yes.
The explosions. Just be careful because the surrounding area will block them. So like if you aim them poorly, you could end up hitting like a wall and not doing any damage other than splash damage. So they are targeted too. So I like it a lot because they're targeted, because it's much easier. Like you hit the button and then you kind of go, and you point where you want them. It's really nice to be able to have a good talent like that where you can really kind of aim things. I love those talents.
Mm-hmm.
Those are fun.
Yes.
She also has Hunter Killer, which summons a Hydralisk to attack a single target and lasts for 8 seconds. And then you can upgrade that one to a flying...
Mutalisk.
What is it? Mutalisk. Yeah. And that's pretty awesome. I always get that one. I get the mutie just because I like muties. But like I was saying, I mean, with these talents, you get this feeling playing the Zerg. You're getting all the you get a Hydralisk. You can get the Mutalisk. You can get Banelings. I mean, you're getting all these things. You feel like, wow, look, I finally got Zerg in here.
Mm-hmm. And when you get the Mutalisk, you can also upgrade it so you can get 2 charges of it at a time.
Yes.
So then you can stick 2 Mutalisks at people. It's like, man, if I could.
I thought they shared their same talent.
Nope. Do you think it's the same talent?
Same level that you get. You can choose one of them.
Yeah.
You can only choose
you
two charges,
2 Hydralisks,
or you can only choose change them to Muta.
I think you can get both because I've only played her that one game and I did it. I could be wrong.
Oh, okay.
I played them a lot, and I don't remember having been able to do both.
Yeah. We'll take a look at that while you kind of do the next one.
Will do. This one's one of my favorites. As my friend that's in the chat room now, Eric, will tell you, I love using roaches in StarCraft 2. They're my go-to unit. So what this one is called Infested Drops, or Infested Drop. It's bombard a targeted area with a Zerg drop pod that spawns 2 roaches, and it lasts for 8 seconds. And that one's one of my favorites because I absolutely love roaches in StarCraft 2. Their animation, their sound effects, they're just awesome.
Mm-hmm. No, roaches are...
It's a fun one.
Are a fun one.
I love that the pod coming down. It's that it's what, like, I mean, again, like you're playing StarCraft 2. Of course, they have all of these assets to steal directly from StarCraft 2. It's probably pretty easy to add them because they just had to basically copy them over. But you get the drop pod coming in and when it blows up and sprays stuff all over the place. And then the roachlings come out. You can get the talent to add an extra roachling, I think, and maybe I think there's one to make them last longer.
Mm-hmm.
But they're it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I looked it up real quick. So it looks like the Mutalisk one shares it with the Groove Spine, so which is the increased Hunter Killer damage, and then the Brute expansion, which is the 2 charges, is at level 16.
Oh,
but that one shares
right.
with the where you can spawn 8 Banelings instead of 4. So,
oh yeah, you got to get the 8 Banelings is better.
Oh really? Is that the ideal build there, Fimless?
Oh yes, you have to get that. If you don't get that one, you're stupid.
So new.
I'm gonna get that one and you're gonna be like, stop being a noob, Adam.
What? Don't be a noob. Banelings are it, man.
Banelings are the thing. They're kind of they're cool right now.
It's like shooting cannonballs at them that explode. They're cool.
Now you have the 2 heroic abilities that everybody gets. You have Nidus Network, where you summon a Nidus worm at a target location, and you're able to enter it by right-clicking. And while you're inside, you exit it by clicking R or right-clicking on the worm you want to exit out of. You can do a maximum of 4 out at a time. This is crazy movement around the map. I like it. I did use it once. And I just had a fun time being able to kind of click around, especially on Haunted Mines where it's kind of a smaller map anyways. You can put the 4 pretty much everywhere.
And the nice thing is that you don't have to be there to drop it. You can drop it basically almost anywhere on the map, of course.
Oh man, I didn't even realize that. I was always clicking nearby because I assumed I had to be nearby in order to do it.
Nope.
So it's even better than I thought.
Yep.
I feel I feel like I wasn't doing it right. Now I'm
There is
really
a
new.
delay when you click on it to enter it, and there's a delay when you come out. So be aware. So like you can't just like if running away from somebody, you can't just click on it and like immediately be in the Nidus network. So give yourself some time.
Yes. And the second heroic ability is Devouring Maw. Summoning Devouring
love
Maw
that
that
one.
deals damage and devours enemies for 4 seconds. Devoured enemies cannot fight and take damage per second. Yeah, Fim, I saw you use that. You're like, I'm gonna eat them. You're pretty much like,
That was awesome.
you're like, nom 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 nom.
I'm like, keep him in place, keep him in place. Hold him there.
Now, do you guys have
That was
a?
awesome.
Do you think one's better than the other, or does it really depend on the kind of the gameplay that you're doing?
It depends what's going on at the time.
Yeah, we don't have like a murky thing going on where one is the obvious correct choice at this point.
Doesn't seem like it right now because I mainly picked Devouring Maw myself just because of the hold him in place, especially if it's like a Cursed Hollow. You get a whole bunch of teammates together and you stop them there. Another thing I've done with it is I was trying to get the Dragon Knight. I was at the Dragon Shrine and to be able to summon him. And Nova snuck up behind me and shot me. So I used Dragon Maw on her, and that gave me enough time to actually take the Dragon Knight.
Good idea.
So it just depends what's going on, because like you said about Haunted Mines, Nidus Network is nice on there because it's a smaller map, and it can help you get to the mines. If you put it in the bushes right next to the mine entrance, you can get to it instantly, and then you can also put one in your base, and it's very helpful.
Can you put one in the mine?
That's what I was just gonna ask.
I haven't
You can't put it
tried.
in the mine. I
wonder-
doubt it because you can't go in there all the time.
Yeah,
So if you can, it's probably a bug. They'll probably have to fix it.
I haven't tried, but they probably won't let you do that.
It'll be interesting. We'll have to give it a shot when next time I get in there as a guard, just to test it out and see if it's possible.
Yeah, for sure.
If you do custom maps, you could just make one. But no.
Right. No, we don't have custom maps because somebody had to run a tournament. No, I'm just kidding.
Somebody can't have nice things because.
No, they had the little preview of like the other skins that were coming out too. But what do you guys think of the first Zagara skin, the kind of insectoid skin?
Awesome. It's awesome.
Zim, you don't look too impressed.
I want it now.
It wasn't. I don't know.
I'm a Zerg lover, so I didn't buy it because I want her to look Zerg. It looks cool,
like the
but
Scorpion.
I want to keep it Zerg, 100%.
I thought it looked pretty Zerg Scorpion to me.
It's like the Zerg found a scorpion, and they were like, "We must incorporate
Yeah,
this
exactly.
into our being."
Abathur and her got together with the Scorpion, and look what happened.
Made sweet Zerg.
Oh,
Sweet, sweet DNA splicing.
it's the worst image ever.
I agree, it is. Next topic.
And any other hints, tricks that you guys have from playing her that people, just kind of as a first impression should know about?
If you love Zerg,
Hints.
like I do, I absolutely love Zerg. That's all I play in StarCraft 2. It's like a mobile Zerg base. It's awesome. That's the only thing I gotta say. It's just awesome. Play her if you can. She's cheap. She's only like 4,000 some gold.
Yeah, that was surprising. I thought she was gonna be like 10.
She's fun.
Yeah,
And she's really fun.
it's just if you love Zerg, play her. I love Zerg, so this is my new favorite hero in the game.
Okay, well, I think that's gonna do it for our show today. I want to thank Zim and Fim for kind of coming. Zim, why don't you let people know where they can find you and stuff you're up to?
You can find me at the tweeters. It's at Xim Voodoo, but it's spelled XIMVEWDEW, and that's pretty much it. I'm on there all the time.
All the times.
All of the times.
And Fimless, what about you? Where can people find you, listen to you?
You can find me at Fimless, Fimlys, on Twitter, and I am a host on Hotscast, and you can find that at hotscast.com, and also on the Twisted Nether Blogcast, which is World of Warcraft podcast, twistednether.net.
And Josh, the amazing Josh.
That's me.
Where can people find you?
Nowhere. You can find me here every Friday night. And you can also find me on Twitter at Pakawan_AIE. It's spelled PAKKUAN_AIE. But that's about it. I don't do much, so you can find me there or here.
And you can reach me directly at Geek of Random on Twitter or the show at the Nexus Podcast. If you have any feedback, questions, anything, please let us know at show@heroesofthenexus.com. We'd love to actually have a question and answer segment in this show. The few questions that we've gotten have been pretty much some of the most fun, discussions we've had, just because we're able to really think of them ahead of time and stuff. You can find us all over the internet: iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Twitch. For those of you who are listening to the podcast, come join us on Twitch when we record Friday nights at 10 o'clock EST. For those of you who want to listen to me elsewhere, I was just recently on the episode of a bit of Geek and Nerdery. Who you can find them at d20crit.com. Me and Will from there had a great time, kind of just talking about Doctor Who, Supernatural, a whole bunch of just kind of nerdy, geeky things. And check him out; it's a great podcast. He's also a member of the Catalyst Gaming Media, which we are proud members of as well. I think that'll do it for us tonight. Everyone, have yourselves a great weekend, and we will see you all in the Nexus. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
And stop. Awesome. Thank you guys for coming on. At the end, I realized it was Xim and Fim.
I feel so far behind because I haven't been able to play until recently.
You'll get right into it.
Yes, I can't wait. Finally.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Now that you actually have a computer that can handle it.
Dude, you'd think an Alienware could handle it. It's just no. It doesn't handle StarCraft either, though.
That's like saying...
I couldn't play anything Blizzard on it.
Alienware's
an old one? Or?
It's 2 years old.
That's like saying you would think a Dell could handle it.
Weird.
True.
Yeah,
that's very true.
it is saying the same thing.
Yes.
It is now my Alienware mouse pad. It's very nice.
Dude, you're getting a Dell.
Dude,
yeah.
Dude, you're getting a cell.
It's bad when a Mac is an upgrade.
For gaming.
Yeah,
yes.
for gaming, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, I had to make a choice. It's gaming machine or video editing Mac.
So you're like,
and it was
free. You can kind of go with both. It was free.
Yeah, through my school.
You want to send me a free Mac?
Yeah, go to Full Sail.
Full Sail?
Full Sail. Yeah.
I'm already in school.
It's expensive, I bet.
I'm not going back to school for anything.
But when you pop out some
done.
sex trophies and you have a vagina, you get to go very cheap, and they send you a free laptop.
Gee whiz, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently.
You only have
Yes,
2 things to do, or 3 things to do, Josh. One is that sex change, and 2 is have kids, and 3rd is go back to school.
You get more tax back too.
Yeah. Although they do cost more money during the year, so it doesn't quite balance out.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
I feel left out because I don't know.
Where do you want the audio?
You can upload it right to that folder, probably. So we're gonna cut down the live show. I want to thank everyone for coming. Nags is back. DJ Billy Hype, Super Siler JWC. And
That's my homie.
It's your homie.
You'll meet him at BlizzCon. He's coming with me.
Oh, cool. So yeah, I want to thank everyone for coming. Xantar showed up.
BlizzCon.
If I would have known that he was around tonight, he would have been on the show. It's funny. This is the first week I haven't sent a message saying, "Hey, are you on the show tonight?" And he was available. So
that's fine.
Thank you all for coming again. We will talk to you guys next week. Oh, show up tomorrow night, 11 o'clock, twitch.tv/World of Podcasts. We have Berlon, so David, playing against Tarkonis in Hearthstone. And me and Will from D20 Crit are going to make fools of ourselves casting it again. So, come on. Have fun.
Oh, speaking of, did you see that the next Rammus is coming out next month, July?
Yes.
Really?
I'm
Yep.
excited.
So goodbye, guys. Thank you again.
Very cool.
Bye, chat room.
Yep.